Welcome to the PaynePoints Podcast. We enjoy telling the stories of everyday people, whether that be small business owners, entrepreneurs, or people with a passion for their community. We want to highlight them and give them a platform to share their story. So grab your favorite beverage and join us on today's episode where we tell the story of someone just like you. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. We are here today with Amy and Damian Nicolas of A&D Nutrition. Hi guys.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing good this Monday morning, I think. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and the weather's nice. It's pretty. It's becoming spring, so it puts everybody, at least puts me, in a good mood. You know, and it's the first Monday in 3 weeks that we haven't a terrible storm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna wait out till Wednesday.
Yeah,
now, I think.
Yeah. Well, anyway, why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you met and all that, and then we'll really get into it. It sounds like there's a story there.
It is a good story. That's why, whenever that question gets asked, we're look at each other, all right, do you want to start? Do you want me to start? Because it is a good story. So I am also a cheer and gymnastics coach, and I was coaching for 10 years, and it was what I thought I was always going to do for my career. And God had other plans, and I started, I kind of stopped coaching for a little while and was looking for another job, and I started working at Untitled Nutrition. I've always been into fitness, always loved fitness. I just never thought it was going to be a career thing. And so I just kind of got the job at Total Nutrition to kind of get me by, to figure out what I was going to do, if I was going to go back to school or, do something else. And Damian wasn't working there at the time. He was working in Houston, but he ended up coming back from because he used to work at Total Nutrition. He was the general manager over several stores, and he went to Houston to work. And then whenever he came back, I actually thought that I was about to get fired. Oh no! Because I had just started working there, and I didn't get a whole lot of training whenever I started working there. I just immediately got kind of thrown into it. And so here he came in to the store, and he was like, I'd already been working there for months, and he came in and he was like, all right, we start training on Monday, and you better be ready, and you better be there at 8:00. And I was like, oh crap, I'm about to get fired.
He's a drill sergeant.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And so I went into work on Monday that day, and we started training and stuff, and we immediately found out quickly that we had the same passion for fitness and for nutrition and stuff. And so we clicked right away, just literally as coworkers. I respected him as my boss, and he respected me as an employee, and we just immediately dove into the store, and we just really started working really good together and everything. And so I'll let you talk, since I'm not talking about the whole entire time telling the entire story. But anyways, we just clicked as coworkers and stuff and everything. And then we started dating. We probably had been working together for 6 months, 7 months, something like that. We didn't actually
there was no corporate policy
about
against
6 or
that
7.
kind of thing?
No.
That's good.
And then it was kind of funny because it was whenever he came back, he became the general manager over Lufkin and over Beaumont. They were and so he became the general manager, and so he was kind of the boss anyway. So
big boss.
Yeah. So we started dating about after about 6 or 7 months, and then Total Nutrition decided that they were going to close the doors on the Lufkin location in July. And right after they closed, me and him were okay, what are we going to do now? Because we both had this really big passion for what we were doing and everything. And so that's whenever we were just okay, we're just going to open a store. And so that's whenever the A&D Nutrition became That like,
and I'm realizing that A&D are your initials.
yes,
Amy and Damian. I was wondering where that came from. So
yeah, so
that was one of my questions. How'd you get the name for your business?
Yeah, so we opened the store, and we opened it up in October of 2019.
Yep.
And so that's whenever we opened it up.
So before the pandemic.
Yes, right. Yeah, right before the pandemic. So, but that was basically, I mean, I guess you say that's how we met, was he was my boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you guys now, like you were working in Houston, she said, did you guys grow up here in this area? Did you end up just moving here because of work? How did that all come about?
So yeah, I was practically raised in Lufkin. So I was born in Clovis, New Mexico. Lived in West Texas probably until about 5 years of age, and my parents decided to move to Lufkin.
Across the state.
It was, I remember as a kid, it was.
And for those who are listening who aren't familiar, moving from West Texas to East Texas is like moving from like Louisiana to like North Carolina. That's the distance. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. And also just the area is completely different.
Yes.
You know, you're used to no trees.
Arid. Desert.
Yeah, exactly, to like trees everywhere. And I remember as a kid, I was like, man, what are all those sounds in the trees?
Yeah.
And so it's just like birds and things like that. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Honestly, sounded like a jungle. And we're like, oh my goodness. And
yeah.
So it was crazy. But yeah, so yeah.
So you spent most of your time here in Lufkin since then.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Amy, what about you?
I was actually born down towards Port Arthur, like Beaumont area.
Yep.
And then I lived there till I was 2. And then we moved to Lufkin. So I actually was born and raised and everything here.
Basically.
Yes. Yeah. Like I've moved off several times, but then always came back.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
my family and everybody's here. So this is home.
It's a small enough community that you don't have to deal with too much of the big city nonsense, but it's not so small that you have to like constantly go somewhere else for doctor's appointments or shopping.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like that great in between. You guys have been married for how long? Are you married?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have assumed that.
Yeah, no, we are. Yeah, we actually just celebrated our 1-year anniversary on the 23rd of March.
Congratulations.
So, yes, thank you.
I say that's the hardest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We've
I feel like
definitely...
that's probably one of the easier ones, actually. Come back to me in 20 years and we'll talk.
It's definitely been a lot dealing with the stresses of everything that's been going on and running a business and everything too.
It's actually funny because we joke. We're like, yeah, we've been married a year, but honestly, it feels like 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done so much.
Especially when you're running a business together too,
Yes.
which, you know, for anybody who has ever run a business with a family or a spouse knows that is probably one of the most challenging things to do.
Very much.
It is.
Because you never really get a lot of division between your home life and your work life.
we joke about that all the time because it's like we'll set aside time like for each other. It's like, okay, we're gonna go like on a date, you know, and so like and our date time turns into like business meetings.
Yeah. I mean,
and so it's like we, you know,
there.
but we're both so passionate about like what we do that we still enjoy like talking about it and talking about like what we plan next and, you know, stuff like that. But whenever we go home, we have to be like, okay, turn the phone off, slide it away, like, because it's nonstop all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So we do have to like find that line between like work and like
and
home
it's going
life.
to evolve over the years. It's just there's not a destination you arrive to. It's a constant journey you're on.
Yes.
What did you got? You said you were a cheer and gymnastics coach. What did you want to be when you grow up? Because I mean, not everybody always aspires to be business owner / fitness guru or anything like that. So what did you want to be when you were a child?
I actually always wanted to be either a vet because I love animals, or I wanted to be like, that was, I would guess you would say like my childhood was, you know, and then like as I got a little bit older, it went into physical therapy. So I wanted to be a physical therapist. So I was on my way going that direction whenever I got the job at Total Nutrition, and then like career change.
I wanted to be a vet when I was a kid. I think most little girls do.
I think so,
and then
too.
you learn that you have to put animals to sleep, and I was like, no, I can't do that.
Yes.
And then, you know, my grandfather wanted me to be a doctor because, you know, that's just how people are, you know, let's be a doctor, a lawyer, you know, you know. And I saw this movie regarding Henry with Harrison Ford and really got interested in physical therapy there for a while. I was like, I could do that. You know, I could probably do that. Ended up going a completely different course, obviously. But that's interesting that you say that, because I was like, that was kind of my life path there for a bit. You know, you had the crazy dream jobs, like I wanted to be a spy. And then it was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. But anyway, Damian, what did you want to be when you grew up?
So mine, honestly, it was business.
You really wanted to be a business owner?
Yeah. So it's actually.
You're a weirdo.
Yes.
It's funny because, on the weekends, whenever I was like a teenager, me and my siblings, we'd go like over to Houston to my dad's friend's business. He owned a painting company. And so he would be contracted like do the bridges in Houston and like multiple houses and stuff like that. And so I'd go over the weekend to go work. And it's really funny how that worked out because I had the intention to go and paint like these houses and get paid for it. And I ended up sitting down at these business meetings with the guy. And so I was just like translator, but at the same time, he was like, what do you think? I'm like, bro, I'm 12.
Wow. So it was like ingrained in you from a young age.
Oh yeah.
Goodness. That's cool, but it's also like, that's a lot. I mean, and I know, kids who grow up in a, in immigrant family or a dual language family sometimes have to act as interpreter when it comes to things like that. And so you're exposed to a lot of stuff a lot younger. But, maybe it serves you well. It's like the education you need. You don't always need a business degree. Sometimes it's just cold, hard, experience.
Yes.
So you guys were passionate about fitness and nutrition, had worked for a Total Nutrition, and now you have your own supplement. How would you describe that? I don't want to get that wrong.
It's A&D Nutrition and vitamins.
So supplements and
so we
healthy eating.
Yeah. Well, we do that as well. So we're kind of a all-in-one store is the way that we try to call it. Like
that's the goal. Yeah,
that's the goal. Yeah, I mean, because we right now we branched into our vitamin lines whenever we obviously the pandemic happened and everybody was working on more, health wise and trying to keep their immune system up and things like that. So, but we came with Total Nutrition, they were more just sports nutrition. So whenever we opened the store, it was mainly just sports nutrition, but we put vitamins in the name because our goal has always been to be overall health. Like we don't want to just be a nutrition store for athletes. Like we want to be a nutrition store to, everyone that just wants to have optimal health. And so we do, we have our vitamin lines. We also have sports nutrition. And then we also do nutrition as well, like whenever it comes to nutrition plans and things like that.
Yeah, I noticed on your website you have a thing for options for like consulting where, I guess you would sit down with someone and they would tell you what their goals are and you would go, okay, well, here's the meal plans that we would recommend for that particular thing.
Right.
Or did you do like training, right? Like coaching for for fitness. Oh, I'm having trouble with the word.
So we're both certified personal trainers.
There you go. That's the word I was looking for. That was like, whoop, it's in there somewhere, but I can't pull it out.
So we do, which right now, we're basically full with our personal training in gym. That takes a lot of time. Yes. And so with having 4 kids and a store, that's hard. So we do online coaching for workout plans and stuff like that. But I would say that the main part of our online coaching is going to be the nutrition plans, where we do check-ins, we give you updated meal plans, we stay in contact with you about throughout the week and stuff like that of how your nutrition's going and stuff like that. So
a really well-rounded location for all kinds of things when it comes to your health and your eating habits and your fitness habits.
Yes.
So that's something that a lot of us could probably use after 2 years of quarantine and pandemic bodies and all that good stuff. So all right, well, switching gears just a little bit, you guys have your own business, and I'm sure you already know just how challenging that is. And then you're newly married too. So what kind of habits do you guys do on a daily basis or a weekly basis that set you up for success, basically? It's a question I ask everybody. Is there some particular thing that you do where you get up and you exercise first? That's the first thing. Or I meditate first and then I do, X. What for you personally do you guys do to kind of just help coagulate all parts of your life, married life, work life, parenting, all the things that you have to do?
So we pretty much set up a schedule for 1 to 2 weeks in advance. I mean, and every day is planned out just because we're really, really busy. And we've always told ourselves that first and foremost, we want to reinvest. So any profits that go to the store, we want to reinvest back into the business. Our goal is not to have the business grow very slowly over the course of 15 years, opposed to we'd rather just sacrifice everything up front. And therefore, after about 5 years of complete investment, it's going to be easier to just kind of live a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And so with that being said, that's how we do. We schedule everything accordingly throughout the entire week, and then daily we're like, all right, what's the game plan for today?
Yeah.
I would say, especially with our because of having 4 kids and having, you know, work and having, you know, I still coach a couple of days a week. And so, I mean, there's still, and then like
So
like
you need like a big calender on your wall.
our calendar is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, because I still have outside jobs outside the store. So, I mean, Dee's job is the store. And then I have, I still do some personal training clients. I still have my coaching. And then I also am over marketing at the store. So we have to have a very mapped out schedule of how the day goes.
Every minute is planned.
Yes. And I would say like, well, I don't follow it like to a T, but it's like goal every single day is to at least have that 1 hour to where I can focus on like I wouldn't say necessarily meditating. Like for me, it's like the gym has been like my home base for so long that I have to have that hour. Or like sometimes it turns into 30 minutes or 15 minutes.
Right.
Like I can go for a 15-minute run and just have that to clear my head, or I can get that 30-minute lift in just to headphones on, zone out, focus on, you know, and that helps just to reset myself where it's like knock out that 30 minutes and it's like, okay, now I got soccer, now I got blah, 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 blah. Like I'm running around and stuff. So I would say like to keep my sanity and keep me focused on not only like my personal goals, but like it keeps me focused on my goals for like our business and for like home life and everything like that, is that I at least have to have, whether it's that 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, just to have that, that me moment to reset.
Monday through Friday, every morning, one of the first things is to get up and go walk for 20 or so minutes to just, you know, I hate exercising. Sorry. I really do. It is like it's like a chore. I mean, and my husband and I have been very good. He had a heart attack last year, a lot of health concerns, and so he was like, let's start doing this together. Maybe we'll keep us better accountable, because I can do something really great, and then one thing will derail me, and then I'm like, after that. And so I've noticed a little more energy. I've better headspace in starting my day, kind of being physically active versus, you know, anything else I used to do. And I hate it. I hate every minute of it. But you know, I've noticed the benefits of it. So it's kind of like, okay, it's been almost 90 days now, so maybe it'll just be second nature at this point.
And it honestly, it makes a difference because like for me, oh my gosh, for a while I didn't have like what you would say that moment. I was very much into fitness and bodybuilding, stuff like that. And then I ended up losing my kidneys, and so I went through 3 years of
both
that battle.
kidneys?
Yeah, both.
Oh, yeah.
Both. And so I went through 3 years of just not having the gym as that thing to get started for your day and stuff like that. And so it was a lot. I mean, honestly, I think for me what it was is just putting more of my time into the store. That kind of
redirecting that focus somewhere
exactly
else. Positive.
Exactly. And so it's so cool now because I just literally, after a little over a year since my transplant, I've been able to start working out again. This is going to be my second week, I believe, working out, and I'm just like, man, I've missed this so much.
I wish I had that. Like, I don't miss it when I don't do it, other than the effects that it gives me. You know, like better attitude and just better like energy and things like that. That's what I miss. It's not the actual act of. I wish I had that gene, but I do not possess it.
I'm that way. I have a love-hate relationship with running, and
I can't. My knee would never.
Yeah, I absolutely hate running. But they call, I mean, I guess that whole, I mean, whenever I would have friends that were runners and they'd be like, oh, that runner high is amazing. And I'm like, yeah, that's stupid. Like, I don't even want to run long enough to get the runner high, you know, but I've made it a mental challenge to overcome this year. And so I've started running, and I hate it. But whenever I get done, like, it gives me so much more energy, and I feel great like afterwards. But I can understand I walk to the trail and I'm just like, like I'm just dreading.
I can't because of my knee, but like I walk. That's about it. You know,
I dread it so bad, and then I'm just sort of like, okay, just get it done. Like I'm just over this, you know. And so, but the feeling that I get from afterwards, and and having that clear mind and those endorphins release, it really does brighten my day and make my day more productive. Yeah. But I do have that.
I do it for the after effects, not the actual part of it.
The actual part's torture.
For me, I love going and lifting. Like that's always been my going and lifting has always been my stress relief, and so I'm trying to like branch out to like do other forms of exercise, and so I get you. I'm hating running.
I need to put a pool in so I can swim. I feel like that's like an all-encompassing, and I would much rather, I would way more enjoy that than anything else, but that's expensive. So, what do you guys do in what little free time you might possess? Do you have any hobbies outside of the fitness world? Do you have a favorite TV show or craft or something?
Yeah. We do set aside that time at night to watch TV together and like have that, just downtime. Like once the kids all go to sleep, we have like, okay, we're just going to watch like one, episode or so. But we've like watched and rewatched our favorite shows. Because we get hooked on one, and then like I guess you'd say the longest one was like Supernatural, because it was like
20,000 seasons.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we actually like named our son, like his middle name is Dean, like from Supernatural. So let's just say we were really big fans of that show. But then like Game of Thrones, we just rewatched Game of Thrones for like his third time and my like second time.
How can you rewatch it after that terrible last season? It left such a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, I'm never watching that show again. Do you just pretend like it didn't happen?
Yes, I'm still holding on to hope that something else. There's gonna be another season.
Yes,
it's like so.
It's been so many years that we're just saying like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, that was She's not dead. She's coming back. that whole thing. I mean, my husband got into the show really late, and so we're gonna talk about Game of Thrones for a second. And so he wasn't watching it as it aired. It was basically like a binge watch, season after season, and he was still like, oh, what was that? And I was like, they could have ended it after the third episode with the battle with the Night King and everything, and just like that could have been the end of it, and we could have been just like, okay, whatever. It was awful, and I was like, I cannot now watch the show because of the way that it ended. It's kind of like How I Met Your Mother. That was so terrible that I was like, I'm never watching that again. Anyway, so that's my pet peeve. But yes, it was a great show until they ruined it.
Yeah, and I really do. I'm like, me and Dee just both like kind of hope that there's something else that's going to happen.
I mean, they're going to do a prequel series.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, we'll see.
But I'm just like,
I hope they got new people to do it though, and not those two hacks that ruined it. Maybe it'll be better. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the section where we do these rapid fire questions, and I ask a question, and it's pretty much a 1-word answer, and people to get to know you and your likes and dislikes, things like that. So I'll ask a question, and we'll take turns answering. Cool. Okay. We'll go with Amy since she's a lady, and then Damian, you can answer after it. We did this as our sound check question, but what did y'all have for breakfast?
I had blueberry, oatmeal, and a protein shake and toast.
At breakfast tacos, chorizo with eggs.
Yes. How do you take your coffee if you drink it?
I don't like coffee. I'm an energy drink person, like bangs all day.
Damian.
Mine is mocha latte, extra shot of espresso, cut down a couple of shots on the mocha.
Gotcha.
No whipped cream. Because I have to go to Starbucks and get his coffee, so I know exactly how to
go. What's your favorite song right now?
Ooh. Oh, snap. Oh.
It's like on repeat.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
It's really hard. Well, like for me, it literally goes by my mood. Like drastically goes
If I were to say album, I'd say Spotify Radio.
I know,
cheater.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
We literally just like, I like that song. Let's go to the radio of it, and it just plays different songs.
But help me out. What was that song that you and Emily had on repeat? Like, I would say that's probably the one we've been listening to the most.
Oh, "Beautiful Scars" by Maximilian.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're in the car together most of the time.
Yeah.
So I would say like he sent me it on Spotify, and like I had it on repeat for like I would say the day. So we'll just go with that one.
Good deal. Sounds good. What are you watching? Like a television show right now currently?
I am stuck on Legacies. Like he doesn't like all of the vampire stuff or whatever, but I watched all the originals, all the Vampire Diaries, and I just now got on Legacies. But I only get to watch it whenever like he's at work or something. When I'm watching TV by myself, I watch Legacies.
Okay. Damian?
Right now, I'm currently trying to find one.
Yeah, I struggle with that as well. I just finished Bridgerton season 2 and was like, now what do I do? This is why you shouldn't binge TV shows, guys. Do you have a favorite book?
No, not really. I mean, everything I've been reading right now has just been more of like entrepreneur and more like mental strength stuff, but I wouldn't say that I like have a favorite.
Damian?
I would say my favorite's going to be How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Butter pecan. That was easy.
Wow, that was like so fast.
I'm not an ice cream fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke Zero.
Coke.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's really the only answer. Sweet or salty?
Oh. Oh.
I would say salty for me.
I would say sweet probably.
Okay. There
That
you
sounds
go.
about right.
Yeah.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Oh, mountains. For sure.
The opposite answers. I love it. What's your zodiac sign?
Aquarius.
Virgo.
All right. Spring, summer, fall, or winter?
Spring.
So I'd say spring too. I mean, especially here in Texas, it's kind of like summer, but it's a little bit cooler.
A little bit cooler.
Because
a little less humidity.
Yeah. Like I love the summer, but I was like, here, I like spring because I mean, we don't really have a spring. It's just like a lighter summer. So
Yeah, like summer light.
there you go. Yeah, that's East Texas. So.
Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert, definitely.
Man, I would say a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When he's around me, I bring out his extrovert, but like.
Yeah, mainly introvert.
Yeah.
Opposites attract, do they not? Favorite color?
Red.
Right now, it's like a mint. I guess you would say like that Tiffany blue mint color. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like my shaker. Yep.
Are we the same person?
Yeah.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Wow, they were really quick with that. No, it's not a sandwich. It's a taco.
Now that I think about it, I'm like, okay, I've never been asked that question. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'll be like, no.
I can see it being a taco. I can see that.
Yeah.
Like a taco.
Definitely more
bread.
than a sandwich.
I don't know. What's your favorite social media platform?
Instagram.
Facebook.
Okay. Facebook.
Yeah, and I think it's just because like I'm getting better at working Instagram, but I've just never really been an Instagram like person. But now I'm getting into the reels and I'm getting into like all that. If I knew how to work Instagram better, then I probably would be more of an Instagram person. Yeah. But Facebook, I like just know it so well that I always find myself just pulling more towards Facebook.
Yeah.
So I think whenever I learn Instagram better, like I like the setup of Instagram better, but I'm just not so Instagram
I'm kind of like that
savvy.
too. Once I like figure out how to work something, I like it a little bit more.
Yeah, so I think that I will like Instagram better once I get better at it.
I would also say it depends on like how you're viewing social media, right? Because if you're looking at it from like working social media, Instagram, and for her probably Facebook. But if you're looking as far as like
for fun,
enjoying content, I would say TikTok.
Yeah.
She is always watching TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna watch TikTok because I got way too much to do, and I'm
You'll
not gonna
get
spend an
sucked
hour.
into that black hole for an hour, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
it was just 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
TikTok is like a
if
drug.
it's like a scrolling, like just watching thing, it's definitely TikTok. But like I get stuck on the Instagram reels too. Yeah. It's like cause to me, I feel like they're just like TikToks, so I get stuck on that too.
Well, and two, in this day and age, social media is such a big part of how you market your business.
Oh yeah,
it's not the traditional ways that used to be a thing 20, 30 years ago are almost obsolete in a way. Yes. Print media and radio commercials, those kinds of things, while people still do them and they appeal to an older generation, if you want to get new clientele and you want to appeal to a wider range of people, you're going to have to be on social media advertising yourself. So being adept at a lot of them is within any business owner's benefit really, because you're going to reach people that way.
Yeah,
doing TikTok videos for your business may actually bring in people that you would never have reached before.
That's what we've talked about, but it's one of those too is that like I'm still like that older generation, so I'm just sort of like I don't even know how to do this. Like I love watching it, but I'm like I just now started like posting reels. And
I can't use the in-app videoing. I have to film it with my camera app on my phone because I can't figure out how to. I'm stupid. I'm doing something wrong.
I know. I told.
So I just do it the long way.
Yeah, I told Dee, I was like, I'm gonna have to like get a high schooler to like come in and like teach me how to do this because I mean it's true, like because just the younger generation, that's like what they do, and so
having people who are young run your social media is really the way to go. Seriously, because us older folks, I'm Gen X. We grew up where, you had the commercials on TV and that was about it, and now it's just you're getting bombarded from all different avenues, and it's good and bad in a lot of ways. But as a business owner, you want to take advantage of that. But as a consumer, it can be exhausting.
It's funny that you say that too, because I'll watch TV for the commercials.
I mean, that's why I watch the Super Bowl. There's pretty good ones this year. So, that's an interesting avenue because, especially with your business, nutrition and health and fitness, it can seem like that's a dime a dozen, and you want to set yourself apart from your competition. And one of the things I wanted to talk about, if you're willing, is in this day and age, you have a lot of what you would call multi-level marketing companies that appeal to that exact same demographic, or that same industry. And not all of them are very reputable. Sometimes it comes out later on that the things they were pushing aren't actually beneficial to you in any way whatsoever. How do you, as a legitimate, fitness and health company, combat the negativity that might come from something like that? Somebody comes in your store, why should I pay for this kind of money for this particular thing? What do you guys, how do you handle that situation? And how do you appeal to those people who were, how do I say this diplomatically, suckered into something that might have they wasted their money on? Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be ugly, but
it definitely happens regularly, honestly, especially whenever I would say that it's he can speak like on the guy side of it, but I know I was one of those people whenever I was getting into fitness, had no clue what I was supposed to be taking, what I was supposed to be doing. I literally
it's overwhelming.
Yes, it's very, very overwhelming, and it was shooting in the dark, and I had years, like I look back now and I'm like, golly, if I just had someone to point me in the right direction, because I wasted so many years of doing the wrong thing to finally get my results and finally get to, where I wanted to be years and years and years later, which should not take you years and years and years to get there, And so, but we'll have customers that come in that are very, very skeptical about wanting to, get help or wanting, to
They're like, that's what Google's for.
Yeah. Or they'll like, I don't, or, there's a certain vitamin or there's a certain, supplement that they should be taking that they were sold something that was wrong for them, for their body type, or, and it messed them up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing, just because there is a lot of things on the market that you can get very good results with when taken correctly.
Right.
But there's stuff out there, you take it wrong and you're going to end up in the hospital. So there is that out there.
Well, that's what I say, before you start taking anything, you should consult with your doctor.
Yeah.
Or a professional who knows what they're talking about. I mean, to me, there's so many things. If you mix them, they say don't take vitamin D unless you're going to take this, because otherwise you're not going to get the absorption or the benefit of it.
Yeah.
And so for you guys, when you have someone coming in and like say they're not super fitness minded, but they want to be healthier through supplements and eating better, do you have to map out, well, if you're going to take this for this, you've also got to take this over here. And that's why it's so overwhelming, is because there's so many things you have to take in conjunction and at the right time of day with the right kind of food.
Yes.
And it's like, can't it just be easy? Can't it be a one pill fixes it all and I take it whenever I feel like it? Like,
so from a business standpoint of that, that's actually a really great question. And I love answering that question because so the way it goes whenever we bring in product, it really just comes down on knowledge. And so whenever someone comes in with a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to supplements or anything like that, we're really big on our employees having knowledge, us continuously being updated with knowledge. So like you're talking about, the absorption of specific ingredients or vitamins, right? Well, that's the amazing thing about technology nowadays, is that whenever it comes to those specific things, there's capsules that are made with modern technology that allows for the product to be absorbed through your body and not broken down through the stomach lining, you know. And so it's so cool how technology has updated.
I didn't know that.
I tell people all the time now that it's like manufacturing companies or manufacturers for supplements are practically pharmaceutical manufacturers at this point. There's at least 2 main manufacturers in the U.S. that also manufacture pharmaceutical medicine as well.
Okay.
And it's just because it's again, with technology being so
it's so very closely aligned too.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, and so that's the cool thing about that. But as far as like having to rechange someone's experience, because we do get that a lot, it really comes down to the knowledge, but also the customer providing the experience, you know. And so we are very, very like, that is what we 100% focus on, is the customer experience and quality products.
Do you find that the medical community is supportive? Because I know I've talked to some doctors and they're
Not
like,
at all.
as long as you just eat the right foods, you don't have to take vitamins are useless. I've heard doctors say this. You have to exercise and eat the right foods. The rest of that is all just junk your body doesn't even do anything with. You can't absorb that particular vitamin through a vitamin supplement.
Yeah.
I think that too, like, it's once again, it's a knowledge thing.
Because this isn't the 1800s. We're not farming our own food here.
No, exactly.
It's not the same kind of food they used to eat 100 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, is that like we do get that too, and it's actually like pretty funny. That's why we laugh about it now.
Because I'm serious.
Yes, because we've had people that have came in, especially now that we like have a vitamin line, because we'll have like, you know, older people that they come in just for more vitamins and stuff, and it's like, you know, they stay in their house all day and they never go outside, but like they're never seeing the sun, and they're like, oh, well, I'm vitamin D deficiency, and I'm like, well, you're not getting out of your chair.
No kidding.
Like, you know what I mean? And so it's like, so they're, you know, so supplements like that, but then like we've had several come in that, you know, needed enzymes to help break down food in their, you know, their stomach that they couldn't process proteins. And so it's like there's different enzymes to help break down those proteins, and it's like the doctor just tells them, oh, well, you just need to eat protein. It's like, well, if your body's not processing protein, you're not getting any of that protein.
Yeah, I've heard people complain about, like, I'll get really bad stomach aches if I eat a steak.
Yes.
Why? Well, maybe it's because of that. I feel like the medical community and the nutrition community should probably join forces.
Yes.
That would be great.
That would be
because, but they don't really want to heal our bodies through eating right and
They
taking
don't.
the right
Not at
vitamins.
all.
Like, here, let's just push all these medical drugs on you that you become dependent on that, like, don't really
I actually had a
help you.
situation. I won't name the doctor, obviously, but
Probably doesn't do that.
had a situation where had a customer buying our vitamins, and he came in. He was like, "Well, my doctor said that your vitamins aren't the quality," and I was like, "Okay, well, just bring me what he has and let me."
So go to Walmart and buy those.
Well, that doctor sells vitamins, so I said, "Well, bring
his are quality."
Exactly.
Okay.
So I was like, bring me what he has and let's take a look and see what it is, and we can kind of compare. And so I looked at the product, and one thing that's part of the capsule was maltodextrin, and I'm like, okay, so this is a blood sugar vitamin. Okay.
It has sugar in the capsule.
Exactly. And I was like, how does that make sense?
And you, as a kidney transplant, have to be probably very careful of those kinds of things.
Oh, yeah. So, needless to say, the guy was like, "I'll take yours."
I read something that where doctors don't really get a very big section of nutritional teaching when they're in med school, and it really baffles me that the whole system starts out. You're starting out as a disadvantage, I feel like. As a medical doctor, shouldn't nutrition be one of the big things that you use to help heal people?
Mm-hmm. This could be a whole nother podcast.
I'm sure
thing.
it could. Yeah.
Because that's something that
goes right into the whole healthcare industry.
We could argue that all day, because I think the biggest thing is that, I mean, I agree, like whenever doctors are like, oh, well, you need to eat right and you need to exercise. Okay, that's great. But doctors don't know how to feed you right, and they don't know how to exercise you right.
Okay, so what specifically should I be eating? What should I be exercising? How
they
should
can't even answer that question.
I get crickets every time. And I'm like, I need help here. I don't know what to do differently.
Exactly. So people think that they're going to the doctor to get these answers. So they're like, you're my doctor. My health is in your hands, you know? And they honestly can't even answer you. And they don't know how to give you the proper guidance whenever it comes to nutrition, or the proper guidance in exercise. Like I've had literally pieces of paper come to me that it said diet and exercise, and I'm like, And she's like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, and, you know, I mean, it's hard.
Infuriating.
Yeah. And it's hard enough, like, for people that come, like, that are already healthy, that they're like, hey, I want these goals. Like, you know, those are hard. But like people that they're like,
I have nowhere to start. I don't know where to start.
I don't even know where to start, you know? And so that's why that's one of the main reasons why we're so passionate. It's because a lot of it is, I spent years doing everything wrong, you know, to get my results. And it's like, you take
all that experience and turn it into something positive for other people.
Exactly. And so we have very like easy sheets of like, hey, just start with like these 5 proteins, these 5 carbs, these 5 vegetables, like, you know. And so it's like, because some people get so overwhelmed at like, I don't even know what to do. So breaking everything down and making it very simple. It's like, you know, I tell people,
teach me like I'm a kindergartner.
Yes.
Seriously.
Know, and it grows from there. So it's like, start with, you know, and like I have some people, they're like, I don't have time to go to the gym. And I'm like, okay, if I can take out of, like, I'm sorry, like, you're probably not as busy as me if you're like single and have just a job and that's it. Like, I'm probably busier than you.
You make time for the things you want to do.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, just go for 10 minutes. Go for, you know, 5 minutes.
Or walk around your block.
Walk around. Yeah, exactly. Like anything is, you know, going to help. But it's like getting started, and those people don't even know where that. They think if you don't spend 2 or 3 hours in the gym, you're not going to get results. And that's just not true.
No.
Well, my own husband is like, he doesn't like working out either. And it was, I told him, I was like, look, if you can just start with like 10 or 15 minutes and you go for like a month, just establishing that habit.
Yes.
Yeah. And then eventually you can work up to, because, you know, he had that heart attack and it took a really long time to get back to almost normal for him, you know, in terms of the energy levels and things like that. So I totally get that. I had an experience, you know, a few years ago where I was just tired all the time. For no explainable reason. And so, of course, they did all these blood panels and tests and things. Yeah. Everything is showing in the normal range. And I'm like, okay, it can be normal, but still not right. So what's going on? And I never got any answers. And then I was, believe it or not, I was on TikTok. Sometimes the internet can teach you things. And there was an OBGYN on there, and she was talking about how women are like magnesium deficient. And it's like certain types of magnesium too that you need to be on. And so I did some research and looked up the one she was talking about, and I went and bought it and I started taking it, and it made a huge difference in my energy level. And no one has ever talked to me about the fact that I might be magnesium deficient. All my blood work showed normal, you know, and yet I was so frustrated that I always felt like I just could not muster the energy to do anything. And I was eating the right things. I was doing some moderate exercise, so it was like there was no explainable reason. And you know, things like that where you have to almost advocate for yourself in this day and age in our medical community, because they're going to hit these checkpoints and that's it. And so then you have people like you who are over here that you can go to, and anything worth anything is you're going to pay some money for it. You know, you guys have all these years of experience working at Total Nutrition. If you're going to get something for cheap or for free, you have to question whether or not the quality of it is there, you know? And so I know with anything like this, and I'll be truthful. I take some stuff from Walmart, you know, and it's probably not the best, but it's like, it's better than not, because I can't afford, you know, 5 or 6, 7 different supplements at the rate of the really good quality. You know, it's like the 1 or 2 that I really, really need, I'll spend the money on, and the rest of them is just like, I hope I get something out of this. And I, you know, one day I hope that that's not the case and I can afford all the really good ones. For you guys, is that, I'm having a brain aneurysm at the moment. Hang on. Let me see if I can get on track here again. When you started your business and you knew that might be some things you were, like the obstacles you were going to have to overcome, were there certain things you set in place, these easy step-by-step, like break it down for like a kindergartner? Was that in your mind, like, okay, people are going to come in and they're going to be overwhelmed and they're going to be frustrated because over here they're not helping. They just tell you very generically to go do this and this. Was there a starting point for you guys, for your own experience? Like, okay, for people who come in like that, maybe they're not big fitness people, but they've got health issues. What are there different categories? I'm not asking this question very well, but you kind of know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
there's like categories that you put people in, and you start them out right here at kindergarten level, and then you can build them up.
So for
right?
us, we call it a tier system that we have, and every
That's
employee's
the word I was
trained on it.
Yeah.
And so based on asking out the questions, seeing where their current state is at physically and things like that, we already know, okay, they're going to be tier 1 or they've been going for a while. They're maybe tier 3. And so, we definitely have a tier system that we set up, and a lot of it, like if they're beginners, a lot of it's going to be nutrition.
Yes. Like,
start with nutrition.
And that is something that we do offer for free is nutrition consultations. And so it's basically where you come in and we talk with you about, like, what do you know about nutrition? Like, some people, you would be surprised, like, they don't know what a carb is. They don't know what vegetables are fiber vegetables and what vegetables. I mean, because believe it or not, there are vegetables out there that have no nutritional value.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you don't even need to be eating them at all. But people are like, oh, no, it's a vegetable.
Oh,
Yeah, people are like, celery, you'll get
Yeah.
negative calories from
Yeah.
eating it because it takes more to eat it than it does it. You know, I'm like, yeah, but it tastes like disgusting and
Yeah.
gives you no benefit. It's like
Yeah.
water.
Yes.
I'll just drink water.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like a good example, me growing up, being Hispanic, I did not know what was the difference between protein, carbs, or fats, and so for me, I remember I was probably about 8 years old, trying to eat right and exercise, and I was lifting some weights and stuff like that my brothers had at the house, and I'm like, okay, I'm now gonna try to eat something healthy. Spaghetti. And so,
like, there's carbs there, big time.
yeah,
A lot of sugar.
because I read carbs is like energy source. I was like, well, I did just work out, so I probably need energy. And so spaghetti. And then I did it for like a week. I'm like, I gained weight. What happened?
Yeah.
And I was like a little kid. And so I didn't learn about nutrition until I went through what I now call my first transformation. What exactly was the difference? And for me, it was such an eye opener because I was never taught what was protein, carbs, or fats. Even we laugh about it now because even her during her first prep, my mom. So obviously she has to eat a certain amount of macros and calories, and my mom was like, "Oh well, this is healthy. Eat it. Like it's healthy. It fits your plan. It's healthy." And I was like, "Mom,
enchiladas smothered in queso. There's a lot of protein in there.
and I'm like, Mom, she can't have an entire pineapple. Like she can't. There's still sugar in there."
I mean, I would like to eat an entire pineapple.
But like, it's just and this is the same thing with with fruits. Everybody's like, well, I eat fruits and vegetables. And I'm like, okay, well, what
There's
else
a lot
do
of
you
sugar.
eat? Yes, yeah. It's like,
They say
oh,
there's
what
better
else?
sugars. Is that true? It's a better sugar than, say, like M&Ms?
Yes. I would say that fruit. I mean,
100%.
we do encourage people, especially the what we call like newbies to diet nutrition and stuff like that. Is we don't drastically jerk away all your sugar. You'll go crazy.
Yeah, I've done the cold turkey no sugar thing,
Yes,
and it's like a drug withdrawal, basically.
And it
Yes,
is, and
it's
that's one
rough.
thing that like some people don't understand is that sugar is a drug, and it is the most addictive drug there is. I mean, it's more addictive.
There's no
than
war on
anything
sugar.
else.
Yeah.
Like so they are better sugars. Whenever you are eating fruits, your body does process them as sugars and does utilize them, and so you can overdo them just like anything
It's
else.
so the idea of
So-
everything in moderation, basically.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to have that mentality sometimes, like, well, it's fruit,
Yes.
so it's healthier.
It's healthier.
Well, I also
option than
think
the
that like a
Snickers,
reason
absolutely.
why fruit would be different from like sugar is because specific fruits are still like heavy in like antioxidants, and it's like a really good balance, between two. Yeah, you're going to consume some sugar, but the nutritional value you'll get out of a strawberry or out of something that has sugar but carries such high nutritional value is going to overweigh that because antioxidants help stabilize blood sugar too.
Right.
So that's also like what I would say is the difference between.
This
like,
is why
doing
it's
fruit.
so hard, because there's so many if buts.
Yes.
That you've got to consider, and this is why it's so overwhelming. And I'm kind of I want simplicity, and so sometimes I hear things like this, and I know you guys have probably very simple plans, but
Yeah.
I like, oh, it just sounds like so much information. I'm gonna have to do all this
Mm-hmm.
hoop jumping and all this cooking to be able to and I'm lazy by nature, and I don't want to do all that work. So I'm sure that's a big hurdle to overcome for anyone, really, is being overwhelmed with information.
Mm-hmm.
And then our tendency as Americans to be relatively lazy and let everybody do things for us. It makes it harder to really be on the right path sometimes. What do you think what aspect of this business has taught you the most about yourself? Because I feel like this is a little different for other business owners. You guys have a fitness, nutritional, health business.
Mm-hmm.
So it could probably have a twofold answer, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that like, even though like our passion is fitness and it is health, and this is like what, like we love to do and everything like that, like it's still, I would say this past year, it's been really hard to like because it's still our, like, your passion, like, personally too, you know what I mean? So it's like we have our own personal goals. Like, I just had twins, and so I've been coming back from twins, so it's like
you're so busy.
There's a lot of there's a lot of pressure on you know, like
getting a bounce back body.
Oh yeah.
I had 3 kids. I know.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pressure of you're not just like, you know, like the average person, like anybody. It's like, no, like you have that expectation. Everyone's watching you to bounce back.
Yeah.
Everyone's watching, like, what's your, you know, I've already been asked, like, when's my next show, and I'm like, I'm planning a 1-year birthday party for my twins. You know, and so
it takes 9 months for your body to get that way. It takes about that long to get it back, if not a little longer.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
If you had to have a C-section or something like that.
I did. I had a C-section, and they are now 10 months. And I will say that I am very, very proud of my body. My body handled it very well.
You look great.
Thank
for
you.
having had twins 10 months ago, I'll say.
That my body definitely bounced back very, very quickly. And so I am proud of that, but it definitely looks different than it did before. So even though my weight's back, and even though
battle scars.
Yes. Oh yeah. So we're still, you know, I'm looking at probably another year before I can get back on stage again, just because it took about almost a year to get my body back. So, you know, so it's but I would say that that's probably the
being in the spotlight.
Yeah, you're in the spotlight a lot.
Because even me, whenever
and being okay with what you are at that any given moment.
Oh, yeah.
That's the I just actually just made a post, like, the other day about it, because I was like, it's the mental place that you have to be at to be an athlete in an athlete in anything. But whenever, I mean, because in bodybuilding, we have no timeout. There is no off season. There is no, like, slacking. There is
that
no
kind of maintaining that you have to do is a full-time job in and of itself.
It is. It's a very full-time job, and it's something that you constantly have to be on your A game about. And it's something that being in the spotlight of that is, I would say, is the most challenging. Because you not only have a life and you have a business and everything else, just like, oh yeah, by the way, like, did I get my run in today? Did I get my water? Oh, that daggum water, I swear. Like, if I can't get my gallon in, it's so frustrating. But it's like, I was busy, and I'm just like, I look over and it's like, the day's gone and I'm at half a gallon. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
you just guzzle it.
Yes. Yeah. So I would say that that's probably the most mental challenging, is to have this business that you're also in the spotlight, but then you also have a life, like, you know, and so it's like balancing all of those things is probably the most mental challenging. Yeah.
And there's no leeway, you know. That's the crazy thing, because me and her went through it whenever I was on dialysis, you know. You're still under consistent criticism, you know, because I went from,
and medical issues can have a huge toll on the body.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So out of the 3 years I was on dialysis, I fought to keep my body for 2. And it wasn't until I was just like, all right, I'm done with this pain. Like, I'm done with the consistent cramping all over my body, because I'm wanting to maintain my physique. And I just was done with it. And so the last year of my dialysis, I stopped weightlifting. And I just started running, and it was so crazy because my doctors kept telling me, do not weightlift. Your numbers are out of control. Don't weightlift. But me, I was like, no, I have to. Like, I own this store, and people are expecting me to look this specific way and stuff like that. And so I eventually just gave up. I was like, no, I'm done. I want to appreciate my actual health, not just my looks. Mm-hmm. And that last year I ran, talk about a complete another body transformation. You know, I lost a lot of muscle, right? And then, even then, still went through, like, a lot of criticism. Oh, like, oh, he owns a store, and now look at him now. Like, why does he look that way? And stuff like
I've really never thought about that, because, I mean, yeah, there is that thing in the back of your mind where people who run a fitness center or, you know, a health food, whatever, you expect them to maybe look a certain way, but then you think about it from your perspective as the owners, that constant spotlight you were talking about, that's got to be difficult, because if you don't maintain that, what's considered the perfect image of something like that, then it's like, well, are they selling me something that's a lie? But people don't take into account medical issues or mental health problems or things like that.
You're pregnant.
Or you're pregnant. Yeah, which is both a medical and a mental health issue.
That was that. And I was still in the gym. Like, I had twins and I was still in the gym. And then, like, it was still the criticism of, like, of that too. And I'm just like, I have twins. And
Yes.
I still worked out and was still personal training up until my last 3 weeks. And I carried these babies full term.
Yeah.
I didn't have twins that they came like at 36 weeks. Like we made it all the way to 40.
And for her, it got to a point where I had to tell her, I was like, look, you need to chill out. Like your blood pressure, you have twins, your blood pressure is starting to elevate too much. Like you're beginning to develop these health issues because you're wanting to consistently keep going.
You're trying to keep up with a look that's
Exactly.
not really healthy. That's the thing
Yeah.
we've got to get to as a society, that it's not necessarily about how you look, it's about how your health is overall and how you feel. You know, I probably weigh the most I've ever weighed in my entire life, but I feel healthier because of certain habits I've done, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm in my 40s now. I'm kind of like, I have no F's to give, you know, like it's whatever. Like you don't like it, well, you move on down the road, you know. I'm not here for your pleasure. But I get that that's not as easy to do when you own a business that's all centered around that sort of thing. But I do hope at some point in the future our society comes to a point where it's not about exactly what a person looks like. They don't have to be stick thin, a size 0, you know, runway model, or with perfect 6-pack abs as a guy, or 8-pack, or whatever it is now. That's the trend. And that would be the overall conveyed message. And I know people who are in this for that reason do hey, how do you feel? You may still have a little bit of pudge or whatever, but like you feel good and you're healthy, and that's really what's matters, and you're safe.
That's actually good that you say that too, because I remember when I was bodybuilding, I was 230 pounds, I'm 5'8". I had a lot of muscle for my size.
Sure.
And I probably was viewed as the most healthiest person, but I felt like crap.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I could barely turn around because I was so stiff
and sore all the time.
Yeah, and I would tell people, I was like, I looked like this for a good selfie at the gym. Other than that, I hated it.
Yeah.
And it was so vain.
I don't think people don't really consider the mental. For some, I mean, maybe that makes them feel good. You know, like, well, as long as I look good, it doesn't matter about anything else. And you know, that's fine. That's their journey. But there's so much nuance. We probably talk another hour on all the things you know, the medical community and all the mental health things that go into this. But we're running out of time. So what I'll do is I'll have you guys, you know, impart any great piece of wisdom that either you have obtained over the years or someone has given to you that you would give to others in this community, in this industry. And so we'll take from there.
I would say that my best advice to someone who is struggling to start a journey, or maybe they're at that point where they're just like, oh, I don't even know where to start. So they just, you know, the biggest thing is just start. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're like, you know, the smallest things, like just stop drinking Cokes and drink water. Go take the stairs instead of the elevator. Like, you know, start somewhere, because I promise you, it doesn't matter what small little thing you do, your body will respond. Like, you just have to start. And once you do, just be consistent. Everybody's like, oh, well, she spends 4 hours in the gym, no wonder she looks like that. No, I spend 30 minutes in the gym because I don't have time to spend 4 hours in the gym.
Right.
But it's like I've gotten really good results. It might have taken longer than I wanted to, but 30 minutes in the gym.
About all the time I have attention for it. Anyway.
Yeah, like 30 minutes in the gym, you know, I might have made it 3 times a week. You know, now I'm up to 4, like, woohoo. Like, you know what I mean? And it just, 30 minutes.
You have children. You have a family life.
Everyone does. Like, everyone's, you know, got kids, or they've got a job, or they've got somewhere they got to be. Some people have multiple jobs. Like, you know, I mean, everybody's super busy, but it's literally just start somewhere.
If you have a 2-story house, just go up and down the stairs for 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, like, stand up when you're watching TV, do some squats, like something, you know, because anything, it's mainly just do it. Just do it. Just, you know, stop making the excuse of, oh, well, I don't have time to go to the gym. Okay, well, if you don't have time to go to the gym, you can still walk outside. Like, you know, like, you can always find you just have to start somewhere, and don't get overwhelmed with, like, am I doing all the little things right? Like, it doesn't really matter. Just start. Just start.
You got to start the habit.
Exactly.
And then you can go from there.
I mean, I would say the same thing. Just show up. Just show up, and, like, I guess that would be the biggest one. She said, don't focus on the details, and set a goal, because honestly, over our experience and over the years when we've seen, give it a solid 3 months of dedication. After 3 months, your body's going to change some that you're going to enjoy, a smaller pant size or anything like that, but also you're going to feel better. Your energy levels are going to feel better, and it's just give it 3 months. And one thing that helped me, because my first transformation, I was 324, and I came down all the way down to 178. And
Yeah.
That's like a whole person.
It's a whole person.
and so I remember laying down on my bed wanting to lose weight, and I was so frustrated. And I just started thinking, I was like, okay, if I just try and I lose a pound a month, that's 12 pounds less than I was a year ago.
Yeah.
And if I don't do nothing, I'm probably going to be 20 pounds heavier than a year ago.
Right. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. And so that was the mentality when I first started. That's what I took. I was like, look, if it's even a pound, that's 12. In 5 years, however many pounds that is, I'm going to be that much less, opposed to if I just don't start, I'm going to probably continue to gain weight. And so I took it like that, and I just ran with it. And a year later, I was down to about 200.
Yeah.
It wasn't until almost 2 years that I got down to 178. And so it was, that's the advice I would give. Yeah.
Just show up. Just
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. And just remember that even when, like, if you make the decision not to start, like, you're still making a decision to be in the same place. Like, so, I mean, make a decision, like, actually, you know, invest in yourself. You only get one body, so take care of it.
This go around anyway. Okay. Well, tell everybody where they can find you guys on social media and where your store is located here in Lufkin, Texas.
We are located at 4003 South Medford Drive. It's next to the Old Fuzzies.
In front of the Cinemark?
Yes. So we're right in that little shopping center right there. And then our Instagram is A&D Lufkin. And then our Facebook
is A&D Nutrition and Vitamins. And then our website is just adsups.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. Well, we'll have all that linked on our podcast episode and on our social media. So if you guys want to go in and give them a chat and find out what you need to get started and just show up is the theme of this one. So yeah, thank you guys for taking time out of your very busy schedules to come and talk to us. I could have gone on for another hour. So yeah, you might have to come back and talk to us about all the other things. But thanks, Amy and Damian, for being here. And we hope
Appreciate
everybody...
you having us.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you.
We hope everybody enjoyed this one, and we will catch you the next time. Thanks.
Okay.
Do you have a story to tell? We want to hear it. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast and share your story, contact us on our website at PaynePoints.com or any of the social media linked on our website. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. We'd appreciate a review, a like, or a comment to let us know what you think. You can find all of our podcasts linked on our website under the podcast tab. Once again, thanks for joining us, and we want to wish everybody a wonderful day.